Gurudeva's quote. Throughout your inner investigations in meditation, cling to the philosophical principle that the mind doesn't move. Thoughts are stationary within the mind, and only awareness moves. It flows from one thought to another, as the free citizen of the world travels through each country, each city, not attaching himself anywhere. Then we have the actual steps going into meditation. 1. Posture. If you are able, sit on the floor with your legs crossed, either in full or half lotus. Place your hands in your lap with the right hand resting on the left and the tips of your thumbs touching softly. You may also sit on a cushion on your knees or in a chair. Sit upright with your shoulders back, spine straight and the head balanced on top of the spine. You should feel poised and comfortable. 2. Body heat. Feel the warmth of your body, your head, your chest, your feet. Become conscious of heat radiating out from your skin. 3. Breath. Breathe through your nose, not through your mouth. You should breathe from the diaphragm, the muscle at the bottom of your rib cage, just above your abdomen. Your stomach should move in and out as you breathe. Don't breathe by expanding and contracting your chest. That kind of breathing makes it difficult to be calm. As you inhale, slowly count to 9 and hold 1 count. Then count to 9 again as you exhale, softly contracting the abdomen as you expel air. Then hold 1 count. At first you may be more comfortable counting only to 5 or 6. 4. Life force. Next, feel the nerves within your body. Feel the nerves in your face, in your hands, in your feet. Feel the energy, the life force flowing through those nerves. 5. Power of the spine. Now move your spine slightly. This is the only time in the meditation you should move at all. This will help you focus on your spine and the energy that flows within it. Try not to be aware of anything else, just the spine. 6. Withdrawal. Draw the energy from the body inward. On the first in-breath, become aware of your left leg all the way to your toes. On the out-breath, slowly pull the energy of the left leg into your spine. Do the same with the other leg, each arm, and finally the torso. 7. Pure awareness. At this stage, you should have little awareness of your body. Now become aware that you are aware. Then be aware of awareness and nothing else. Hold this state as long as you can. There's 3 more sections, but we'll save those for next time. One of the aspects of meditation that initially surprised me when I was studying it for an article was the diversity of practices that are described as meditating. I couldn't quite believe it. It's just all over the place what is described as meditation. One was bringing to mind the quotes from the great scriptures of the world. Not even just Hindu, but the great scriptures of the world. Bringing to mind quotations from the great scriptures of the world is described as meditating. I said, okay. Then you get into japa, that's common. You're meditating on a mantra. So, of course, if you're meditating on a mantra, that's called japa. It's not called meditation. Focusing on a mantra. And then visualizing the deity, such as an image of Nataraja, is meditating. These are all common practices that you'll find when you go around and read on the web the different forms of meditation. Well, Gurudeva's approach is distinct in that we're not using mental activity. The first example I gave, bringing to mind scripture. You know, you're using memory to bring to mind scripture and you're reflecting on it. Japa, of course, you're repeating something. And then visualization, you're creating a visualization. So you're utilizing mental activity. Whereas Gurudeva's is, well, let's just shut off all mental activity and discover what's actually there. Oh, that's the point. We're not creating something in the mind. We're just not creating something in the mind and then saying, okay, well, what's there? How does the body feel when it sits up straight, etc.? You know, so we're experiencing what's there, not putting an overlay on top of what's there. Overlay is a good way to think of it. You take a white light and you have these transparencies you're putting on top. No, the transparencies would be like these examples of mental activity. Putting this transparency on of scripture, we're putting this transparency on of a mantra, we're putting this transparency over the white light of a visualization of Nataraja. Gurudevas say, well, let's just look at the light. Right? We don't need to put any transparency on top of the light. We just look at what's there. That's one aspect of it. Then the other aspect is it's going from gross to subtle. Well, what's the easiest part of you to feel? The physical body, right? Okay, that's easier than the mind, easier than the soul. Okay, well, let's start with the physical body. Let's feel the physical body and let's feel it sitting up straight. Then we get a little more subtle. Well, the physical body has a sensation of warmth. The warmth of the body is more subtle than feeling the actual body, right? Okay, but it's warm. It's summer. It's definitely warm. Then we go in a little further and we say, well, what do the nerve currents feel like that are flowing through the body? That's a little more subtle than the warmth, but not that much more subtle. And then we take it, well, what are the nerve currents feeling like that are in the spine? That's more subtle than those in the body. So we're moving the body, the warmth of the body, the energy flowing through the body, and then the energy in the spine. It's getting more and more subtle. Then we're withdrawing energy into the spine. Withdrawal, we're very good at withdrawal. We do it every time we fall asleep, right? We withdraw. We lose consciousness of the physical world. But this is losing consciousness of the physical world and staying awake. But otherwise it's the same process. Withdrawal. We just have to take the energy into the spine. And then awareness, aware of itself. That's the most subtle. And it's very important to understand it. Awareness, aware of itself, one way of conceptualizing it is we take our physical eyes and we look at something. I'm facing this way, so I'm looking at Nandi. You're facing this way, so you can see Nataraja. So let's say you look at Nataraja. You're utilizing your eye to see something, and you're aware of what you're seeing. If you take that intelligence that's seeing something and not see anything, just imagine you're not seeing anything, but that intelligence that was seeing isn't seeing anything. That's awareness aware of itself. Likewise, you could take a sound. Need a bird. No birds at the moment. Can you hear the fans? You take the fans, very quiet sound. Listen to the fan, and then you take that intelligence which is listening to the fan and have it not listen to anything. Oh, that's the idea of awareness, aware of itself. We're using awareness all the time, but it's usually aware of something. That's the nature of it. It wants to become aware of something. But to keep it so it's not aware of anything except itself, that's the practice. There's another aspect to awareness which Gurudeva brings out in this writing utilizing Shum terminology. Or when we translate awareness, we have it in our lexicon. I see, yes. And we have it in our lexicon. Sakshan, witness, is one of the words for awareness used in the Agamas. Sakshan, the witness, that which watches. Awareness, the witness consciousness of the soul, known as Nif in the mystical Nada language of Shum. So Nif is awareness when it's stationary, and Nimph is awareness when it's traveling. The same awareness when it's traveling, it has an M, Nimph, and when it's stationary, it doesn't have the M. It's called Nif. But this Gurudeva brings up another aspect of awareness called Eef. Eef is awareness traveling, flowing constantly in the fifth and fourth dimensions. Unless one is totally aware, one is not at all consciousness of the happening, but only conscious of Ni'imf and its flow, then in deep meditation of Ni'imf and its flow. There are times when Ni'imf changes places with Ni'imf, and the change is unnoticed until afterwards. This is when one begins to see intuitively that which is in the fourth and fifth dimensions. This collage, then, is when we are completely aware in the fifth and fourth dimensions, such as in Mamsani or Mambashum. When Ni'imf is flowing in daily life, being aware of fifth, fourth, third, and second dimensions, I'if is flowing in the fifth and fourth independently. This accounts for intuitive flashes. When a Nache works on a Mamsani or Mambashum, the Nalif vibration is I'if continuing within the areas and neighboring areas of the Mamsani or Mambashum, while Ni'imf is totally aware in other areas. When the Nache goes into the Mamsani or Mambashum, again, Ni'imf changes places with I'if and a place of seeing deeper into related areas than did occur in the previous meditation. These I'if the grammar here is not clear. This I'if became conscious of during Nalif. Well, that's an interesting idea. Try and comment on it. Usually when we think of awareness, we just think of one thing. I'm looking at the camera. My awareness is focused on the camera. We don't think that there's another part of awareness doing something else at the same time. But there is. So Gurudev is saying, you have awareness in the foreground and awareness in the background. And when we're looking into the world, the one in the foreground is called Nif, or when it moves, Niif, and the one in the background is called Yiif. But you can reverse them. And when you're meditating, you're putting Yiif in the foreground and Niif in the background. So the idea is the Yiif is functioning in the sub-superconscious, the fourth and fifth dimensions all the time. But we're just not aware of it. It's going on. And Nalif is the idea that the meditation that you were doing yesterday is still there. Yiif is still in that meditation. So there's a continuity when you look at it that way. Instead of going in, starting all over, you're just going back. It's like you put it on hold. You're going back to where you were in the meditation. Yiif is still in that state of mind, so you're just going into the Nalif. The continuity is taking you into the same state that you're in. So meditation, therefore, can be a continuity from one day to the next when you look at it that way. You're just going back to where you were. You're not starting over. Where was I yesterday in this meditation? There it is. Oh, that's the idea that awareness is in more than one place. It's also inside and it's outside at the same time, and you can reverse them in meditation. That's what Gurudev is saying. Then the external world goes into the background and the inner comes into the foreground. And in that way you have continuity from meditation to meditation. And the continuity is called Nalif. Interesting way of looking at it, an interesting way of looking at awareness. And there's other aspects too, but I didn't bring them for this morning, but another time I'll mention the other aspects, what meditation is also doing in even deeper dimensions at the same time. Oh, very interesting study from Gurudeva. But to summarize, back to the lesson, what we're saying is there's many. Meditation covers a variety of practices. It's such a broad word. Meditation. I practice meditation. So the three kinds that are different than ours is studying, bringing to mind great quotes from the scriptures of the world, repeating a mantra, visualizing the deities such as Nataraja. These are all called meditation, but that's, in our system, that's like taking a transparency and putting it over a light table. We don't want to do that. We don't want to utilize the mind to create something. We don't want any transparencies. We just want the light. And then we go into ourselves experiencing different levels. So starting with the grossest, the physical body, and then the warmth of the body, then the energy flowing through the body, and then the energy in the spine. It's getting more and more subtle. But everything we're meditating on is an actual experience. It's not something the mind has created. It's always there. We're experiencing something that's always there. That's the nature of our form of meditation. Have a wonderful day.